But here you can recognize this part, like this before the
It's still
driving better than Graham does in real life.
You're going slow.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 90 of the Megavision Show. Today is September the 3rd? It is the 3rd. Oh my god, wow, what a twist. I had to double check my calendar because I didn't even realize we're in September yet. Brilliant. Yes, joining this week, as always, don't go for second best, baby. Put his love to the test. You know, you've got to make him express how he feels, and maybe then he'll know your love is real. It's Chris Powell! Hey, buddy.
I'm back again.
Welcome back to the show. Yes, as always. Woo. Yes. Yep, and welcome once again to our show every Friday at 1 p.m. EST or about 6 p.m. UK time, because that's where I'm at, baby. And so we're going to be doing our normal stuff. We're going to have a bit of a chill session in a second. We'll play some games, chat about our week. And then we've got a very exciting show for you today, because we'll be chatting and playing games with, now, I hope I don't butcher his name, but with Alessandro Schihazzi. I hope I've got that right. I think that's how he told us to pronounce it.
I would just say Alessandro for you, Graham.
Okay, Alessandro. Let's just go with that. Yeah. I want to try and give the man his full name. But yes, we'll be chatting with Alessandro, and he is the creator of Overjump Rally, an unofficial SEGA Rally tribute game. He's going to be showing off how the game's going so far, taking us behind the curtain to show off some of the stuff behind the scenes. We're very excited for this because, personally, I'm a huge SEGA Rally fan. I would be wearing a SEGA Rally t-shirt right now, but I don't own one, so outrun, that's the closest thing I've got. But yes, so very excited to see this. It looks really cool what he's working on. So he's going to show off some stuff. It's going to be really cool to see that. And then afterwards, we're going to have some news stuff. So we're going into our news segment and stuff, chatting about some bits and pieces that's going on in the world of Sega. Chris, before we get into the chill sesh, is there anything you want to mention?
I want to give a quick update on the magazine. Cool. We are pretty much done with all the principal layout and everything. Now we are transitioning over, finalizing layouts, just going through and basically just doing quality control, making sure there's no little mistakes, make sure the page numbers are correct, all those things right before we actually finalize the full document and package it together and send it to the printer. So this is the exciting part when we're nearly finished with an issue. So just a little bit more work to go and we will have this thing done. So
awesome. Yeah.
For those people who weren't on Patreon yet, I'm sorry, Graham, for those people who missed out, because the deadline has passed now to join our Patreon to get in on issue 1. So what's going to happen is you'll be able to go to our website, to megavisions.net, and click on the shop link at the top of the page, and we will have some extra copies that you'll be able to purchase there. We'll announce that. Well, what our process is, we always ship out to our patrons first, though. So it's probably going to take about a week or so to get everything shipped out to them, and then after that, we'll make the issue available to purchase on our website. So we give about a week there for the patrons because they get that kind of window of exclusivity. So anyway, go to patreon.com/megavisions, join that, then jump over to megavisions.net where you can buy the latest issue of Megavisions. There we go.
Awesome. Cool. And with that, let's kick off with the game. So Chris, what are we playing? You were the one who chose this game today.
I did. So we are playing Nightmare on Elm Street on the NES today.
Ooh, and so not a Sega game. What is this? What is this?
It's not a Sega game. Because I told you, Graham, I did grow up and I wasn't necessarily a Sega nerd my whole life. One of my first actual system was an NES.
I'm not comfortable with this.
So I'm sorry. Now we'll go 2-player.
Cool.
Oh, crap.
Oh, we're actually playing. I thought that was like an intro.
Yeah. Okay. No. This is the game. So the idea is we have to go into these houses.
Oh, okay.
You have to, I think it's random. You have to go up and press up and you'll be able to run into houses. This is almost like an overworld in a way.
How do you beat these snakes up?
You just have to punch them.
That's what I'm trying to do.
And-
I'm missing. Yeah, I'm dead.
Oh, you already died. Are you kidding? Just jump over them. Don't mess around with them.
Okay.
And so
You don't fuck with snakes.
this is a game that I used to rent with one of my best friends, Cody, and we would play this all the time together. I think it's one of the open doors. There we go. And so now we're in a stage, and let's see here. I keep forgetting if I'm the red or blue guy. I'm the blue one, just for
I'm the red guy.
everyone out there. I need to pull up our Twitch stream too. So I can.
No.
Oh no! Why did I do that? That was not smart. So, man, by the way, dude, full steam ahead on Project Megabarn. By the way,
yeah.
I don't know if you saw. I did post some up-to-date screenshots in Discord. Graham, I don't know if there's a way that we'd be able to show those later.
Yeah, we will be able to do later, I guess.
Well, because when we bring Alessandro on,
Yes.
he's got an awesome pad.
He does.
And I love it. He's got an awesome, really well decorated space. And he said he'd take us around and look at it. And so maybe around then I could show
Yeah,
you guys
that sounds
the latest on the Mega Barn. So we actually have to collect these bones. So if you look in the middle, it's oh god. I haven't played this game in a long time.
No. I'm really off.
Oh god, I got it though.
Really
I got it.
nice.
Okay. Oh no. What happens is I keep forgetting which one I am because right when it's
I went straight through the platform. What's going on with that?
you don't need to go down there anymore, Graham. Why are you going down there?
Can you jump across the whole gap? I think I'm just dead. Oh wait, I can continue.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
yeah, no, I think
Right, what we
we gotta
doing?
go this way.
Okay, cool. Take this.
See, a lot of times
spider.
You don't necessarily. Oh my god, these ghosts. You don't want to even fight some of the monsters. Just jump over them.
No, I want to fight him.
Oh no! Here, you stay on here,
Ah,
and I'll go up here.
it's gonna get me. these are very creepy face things.
So yeah, I think they're supposed to be like Freddy
Right.
faces. God no, Graham, save me. But what's cool is, oh man, shit. This is
Where'd you go?
not as easy as
Continue.
I remember it being. Oh, I continued.
He's still trying to get that bone.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Cool. Let's,
Oh, we were missing one. I think
Are
we're
we?
missing one.
Oh.
We can't go down.
Should we go
we're
back?
missing one.
this
So
is not a fun game.
yeah, let's go back. I do want to finish this level real quick. This is a fun game. It's
No,
just
it's actually
challenging.
not too bad. It's not too bad, actually. For a game of its time, I'm actually quite enjoying it. I just had no idea what this was
And
or how to play it.
What's cool about this game is it is one of the few games that supported the NES 4-player. Here it is, right up here. That I just jumped straight over. Oh god!
Freddy's coming. What a twist.
Now we got to fight him.
I'm fighting Freddy.
Oh god!
Oh, but there's a hand coming out of the floor. What
What's his
nightmarish
hand?
place have you taken me into? Are we actually hitting
Oh,
him?
God. We have not hit him yet.
I
at
think I've
all.
got him once. Then he honed me.
I think this game has infinite continues, maybe.
Oh, good. I'm
That's
gonna
probably
need
why
those.
we kept
I'm
playing it.
definitely going to need those.
Yeah. So what have you been up to this week, Graham?
What have I been up to?
going?
I have
How's
just
life?
been working. I've been working and then finishing off articles on Megavisions, the next issue of the magazine, which is very exciting. I'm really looking forward to this next issue, actually. Just doing some final layouts and a bit of editing on certain articles, but otherwise just work, just doing work. Oh, actually, one thing I'm going to be doing, which is going to happen next weekend is going to happen. I am going to do something called remapping on my car, because I like my car's reasonably powerful, but it's not super powerful. You need to continue, dude.
Oh, my bad. I was reading the chat. Sorry.
Okay.
Trying to get up to the chat. I'm going to get some shout outs in a minute.
Okay, so I was basically going to do. I'm going to remap my car, which means it's going to get a more powerful. The engine's going to be more powerful, and it's going to be better fuel economy. But it's still the same engine. They just do this thing with electronics in the car and make it better. And yeah, my friend was telling me about it, and I sort of looked it up and was like, "Oh, this is cool." So yeah, I'm going to get that done next weekend. So that's something I'm excited about. I am totally missing this dude as well.
Interesting. What kind of car do you have again?
It's this is going to sound fancier than it is. It's a BMW. It's a 320D, but it's an efficient model. It's efficient dynamics, so it's like really good on fuel and stuff. And I got it because I used to commute for like at least 3 hours every day to work and back. So yeah, sometimes it take like 4 hours to go to work and back. But yeah, it's. Oh, is he dead? He's gone. Yeah, good.
Oh, we got him. You need to get that bone.
Damn it. But yeah, so
there you go. Okay, sweet. Now we can go.
So yeah, my car's decent, but it's not like amazing. It's like not like the best BMW or anything by far. Just
it's a diesel?
Yeah, it's a diesel car. Yeah, diesel engine. Which is so yeah, it's just but I can make it just a little bit better, which I'm kind of happy to do rather than spending money and buying a new car or anything.
Was that guy a fawn?
It looks a bit like, or a little devil. Yeah, it could be a fawn.
Like Mr. Tumnus?
Yeah, I was about to say, just like Mr. Tumnus from. Oh, what did you just pick up? What is that?
From Willy Wonka, right?
From Willy Wonka. Yes.
It wakes us up. So,
Mr. Tumnus.
So what that does is. Oh. I'm just joking. So what it essentially does is it goes because we are in kind of like the night mode where the monsters are more powerful, and so it wakes us up, and so they're kind of the regular monsters again.
Okay, cool.
Well, what's cool is that these monsters transform. Okay, so now let's get through this, and then we'll jump in to the game chat with Alessandro.
Alessandro, yeah, cool.
So, I know he's waiting.
So what have you been up to this week, other than Mega Barn stuff?
Other than the Mega Barn stuff has been taking a lot of my attention actually. But no, I mean this has been a great week because I've really just been working on all facets of Megavisions. I posted on Twitter yesterday that the news team has been just killing it on the website.
I saw.
In August, we obliterated our all-time page view numbers for the month, and we even set an all-time high in our daily traffic numbers in August as well. And it's a lot to do with all the hard work that our writers are doing, and it's awesome. So a lot of hard work on the website. We're still, cranking out news every day there on megavisions.net. So I've been trying to spend my time between that, and this is another thing we've been doing is just continuing to develop and hone the show into something that we kind of envision it to being. So still more changes and improvements to come, I think, with this Megavision show. But I think it's coming along. I'm enjoying what we're doing here. I'm having fun. Yeah,
for sure. Oh, come on. I keep missing this dude. I cannot get him.
There we go.
Nice one. Oh, you got all the points. Right.
All right.
Cool. Right, we'll stop there. Should we stop the game there?
Yeah, let's get out of this chill sesh. Let's go into the game chat.
Yeah. With Alessandro. So let's get Alessandro in the room. Cool.
Yes, I start.
Ooh. Look at that.
Megavision fans.
Woo!
That's all you got to do to get on the show.
Yeah, no. That's So first of all, guys, I really love what you're doing. I grew up reading physical magazines about mostly Sega games. So my favorite was called Console, Mega Console, right? So when I read Megavisions and it's about Sega, it's a physical. It's happening again. That's really like I love it,
No.
So it really hits the nostalgia just right.
That's sweet. Yeah, we're excited for this next issue. It's about to be done, but there's several other indie game magazines out there, and I think that's what's really cool.
I have the other one.
We won't show those other ones. I'm just kidding.
Company, I've been hiding it.
We subscribe to pretty much as many indie game mags that we can because we just are such a fans ourselves. So, but it's awesome, man. It's great that there's many different magazines out there today. That makes me happy that I guess the indie game. I don't want to say industry because it's very, very small still, but it's thriving still. There's more of them out there. Instead of closing down, there's more opening up, which is good. But I'm excited to have you on, Alessandro. This is
same, likewise. Yeah, again, I've been following you guys for a few years now. I don't remember when you started, but
it's been 5 years since we started the Megavision's Kickstarter, which seems crazy.
Okay, no, I missed that one, but at least,
yeah,
a couple of years for sure.
Yeah, and then it's been about 2 years or so since we started doing the physical version. 2.5 years or so.
And I love the design. To be honest, I was blown away by the quality, because it's not just about putting words and a few pictures. It's also creating a nice, presentable, package. So,
and that's what we try to do too. Is that we want it to be a collectible magazine, not something that because back there were some magazines that I collected as a kid, but there was other stuff like EGMs. I would read them and then kind of toss them and stuff. And I wouldn't really collect those things, but I hope that people look at it and think of Megavisions as something that they would want to collect. So that's certainly what we're going for. But
that's why I keep them in the plastic cover.
Yeah, that's all Sketchcraft. He's still back doing our covers. He's actually working on the issue 1 cover as we speak, and so I don't think we posted. We have something fun that's going to be going out on social media either later today or tomorrow, showing some of the stuff on issue 1 cover. But let's get going. Let's talk about some overjump and stuff. But before we get into the game, why don't you tell us a little bit about your kind of early beginnings as a Sega fan and stuff, and
so
then we can get into that.
I'm 36. That means I started when I was about 5 with the Sega Master System. I actually had the 2+ version with Alex Kidd inside, and my name being Alessandro and protagonist being called Alex. There was instantly a feeling. Plus, back in the days, I remember Sega was pretty well known in Italy. They even hired the most famous comedians, I remember it was the goalkeeper, Walter Zenga. He was he was playing the national team, and he was in the advertisement for Sega Mega Drive, Genesis for everyone else. Sega was probably bigger than Nintendo, at least for by checking TV and see other commercials. So I remember seeing Sonic running on screen. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I started. I have an older brother. He's a year and a half older than me. So we grew up really close, and we were sharing this passion for video games, which at the time was essential in order to play, versus or co-op. Now you can, just go online and play with as many people as you want. But back in the days, having a brother was really key feature for being a gamer. We started with the Master System, and unfortunately, we skipped the Mega Drive because we were reading magazines, and we were planning on getting the Neptune.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Yeah, so it was we're kind of late into the game with Mega Drive. With the Neptune, we can still use Mega Drive games. And then I said, okay, this is not going out, so let's wait a bit more. And then eventually we bought Sega Saturn. And that was because, we had 10 games for the Master System, but kind of chill. Then with the Saturn, we start buying the Mega Console, the magazine I was talking about, every month. It was a spiritual, religious thing, going to the the newsstand and buying the copy and reading back to back. It was great. With the Saturn, we start buying basically a game per month because we were really into. And then I convinced my friends at the time I was in high school. I convinced them to buy Saturns as well. So I had 2 other friends. There was another guy with a PlayStation, but 2 other guys with Saturn. So we were throwing parties and play other games we didn't own. So I was expanding. We were okay, I'm gonna buy this. You should buy this one instead. We were buying the best one, with the best reviews, telling them to buy something else. But sometimes they turn out to be interesting games nonetheless. So yeah, I have fond memories with the Saturn, and then the Dreamcast came, and that for me was best gaming experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As much as I love the Saturn, the Dreamcast it was the full package. Advanced design in terms of graphics, modem, which at the time was something unheard of, visual memory unit within the pad, easy to program, something that Saturn was missing. You were feeling the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And in fact, just in a few years was I able to deliver a variety and a quality of games that I have never seen on any other consoles, to be honest. And so it was like kind of feeling there was a chance for Sega to take over again PlayStation and Nintendo. We know how it went, but still, I truly enjoy my Dreamcast time. I remember buying it just before summer with Soul Calibur and Virtual On Oratorio Tangram, and we were playing like for 8 hours straight. Like since it was summer, so we didn't have to go to school. We were just stopping because we were worried that the console was like overheating or anything. But otherwise, we were like full on crazy about it. So yeah, we play a lot, especially versus players. Even with the Saturn, to be honest, I remember buying toward the end Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Mm.
We had a PAL console, and we just bought the 4 megabyte cartridge. We was also able to double as an adapter. But since the PAL was only 50 megahertz and the NTSC was 60, the game wasn't playing that well. So we ended up having to mod the Saturn in order to play the game properly. So extra money was like, who cares? This game looks amazing. And we ended up playing PAL games on an NTSC Saturn. So they were faster.
Oh, wow.
Because we were able to adapt it backwards. So I was like, hey, with the card, we were like, so we're playing, I remember SEGA Rally or Virtual On, and we were actually faster than we were used to. So I was like, okay, this is a new way to replay those games. So yeah, we were trying to experiment, and we were start following online forums, which again at the time were like as important as the physical, because the physical magazines were like start dying out, especially Sega related. So yeah, I started like going on online forums, and that's where I discovered Metal Gear Solid Philanthropy, which was this fan project. They were trying to do a fan movie using the Metal Gear Solid world, and this was back in 2005, probably. So I joined initially as supervisor for a combat scene. I was doing ninjutsu back in the days, so I knew about martial arts.
Oh wow!
And so yeah, then I became friend with Giacomo Talamini. He was the director and the lead project, and as well the guy playing Solid Snake. He wanted to be just a director, but he was looking kind of like Snake, so he had to play us. And basically, yeah, we decided, okay, let's take this to a next level, and let's start from scratch. Here's the new script. Let's see what we can do. And basically, at the time, I was studying industrial design at university in Milan, so I had some early access to 3D modeling. It was mostly again for industrial stuff.
Yeah.
So I started to hire 3D modelers to join the project. It was pretty easy because there are a lot of people really into 3D Studio Max, Maya, XSI, Softimage, which Softimage is also the software that Sega used the most, at least at the time, on SEGA Rally, for example, Virtua Fighter, and so on. So anyway, I started hiring people. Then I realized, hey, who's going to put these CG renders into the live action footage? And that's a specific role. It's called a compositor. And basically, since I was both on set filming, because we were like filming during weekends. And I had some background in CG. So okay, let me start and learn about visual effects, specifically compositing. So, like with just a few months of training with the online tutorials, it's like, I think I can do this. So I started like working. I had this much footage while I was following tutorials and doing, whatever they were asking. Also, I had this other footage and these 3D renders. So okay, let me start putting them together. So they eventually became a VFX supervisor. So the guy on set, like understanding how to shoot the best way, and then in post-production, combining all the elements in order to have the final shots. And that became my career, basically, really, with the game. Actually, so as for Philanthropy, the fan movie, we were planning to do a trilogy. Super ambitious. So it was at least 3 hours. We ended up doing the first part of the trilogy, was 70 minutes, which at the time, and I'm talking about, we released it in 2007. Our main concern was how we're gonna publish this, because YouTube wasn't a thing yet. Like, it was early stage. It was like kitten videos, So
and
for us, it was like,
you couldn't post, like, it was like short clips too back then, right? I think it was like
it was minimum like 8
that.
minutes. We had the account, we were allowed up to 18 minutes, something like that, because they didn't want like people to upload entire movies on YouTube at the beginning. And when we shot in SD format, not even 720p. A few shots were 720p because we had a second camera with an extra card, so we were able to. I mean, something really like early stage, but at the time in the filmmaking world, we were like pretty well known. Actually, when I moved to LA, because I decided, okay, this is going to be my career, I can make money out of this. Started as a passion. I moved to LA.
Wow.
And I remember going to Freddie W. gathering. I don't know if you're familiar with Freddie W. He used to do a lot of video on YouTube based on video games. They were like funny videos, action oriented.
Was it Freddie Wong?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, yes.
Then he became a rocket jumper, and they were living in the same studio with Corridor Digital, which they are still doing. They are pretty famous as well, So when I introduced myself, I said, I'm also into VFX. I work on Philanthropy. It's like, holy shit, yeah, of course we know it. So let's work together. So I moved to LA, and within a few months, I was already working on videos that on YouTube were like millions of views. There is a video where actually I star, and I did also VFX for it. It's called Pedestrian Revenge. It's like a GTA video where basically I steal a car, and Freddy with the rollerblades comes back and steal it back, and he throws me on the car while it's moving. It was like 11 million views last time I checked, probably way more now.
Wow.
Exciting times. So I've always been into games, even if I was working on visual effects, which is kind of like similar, world. So I knew about computer graphics because in order to either have to do something myself or take in CG and then implement into the shots. And basically a few months ago when the Unreal Engine 5, first a year ago, the Unreal Engine 5 demo came out.
Yep.
And I was blown away. Because at the time, and even now, Unreal Engine is used for virtual production, which is basically the evolution of visual effects. So instead of having like a green screen, they basically have a LED wall on the back where it's casting in real time the environment. Ooh. It's most famous for the Mandalorian, which makes sense because the helmet of the Mandalorian is shiny, so it's capturing everything. If you shoot on a green screen, you have to dispel, change it, look details. It's gonna look fake. You don't know maybe why, or you need a lot of work on top. So basically, Unreal, it's really friendly for filmmakers. So I was looking into it, like, you know what? Instead like doing pre-production and production and post-production, where then you started computer graphics. It's the other way around. Basically, you have to do CGI first. So you have an environment that's in real time lit, and wherever you move the camera, the background moves, so it creates the right parallax, right? And the actor as well is kind of like on a stage instead of green screen. He's able to see and react. So it's not just a matter of technical elements. It's also better for the performance, you know.
That's amazing. I never knew that.
Yeah,
I always wondered that with Mandalorian, like how they did that with his helmet. Because
they show a lot. You can look up Unreal Engine, the Mandalorian behind the scene. You see it. They show they're really open to show, you know, the tech to a certain point.
Wow.
So yeah, I was really looking into Unreal because hey, I knew Unreal since Unreal Tournament, you know, back in the days, and I knew about like the engine itself. I knew that was available for the public to just use it, and then the second demo of Unreal Engine 5 came out, and I was again blown away. Mostly there were two elements that got my attention. First one was nanite, which is basically another way to say level of details. You know, in video games, when an object is farther away, the model is not as precise as it's closer, right? Because they want to save on polygons. So they basically create it like this way. So if there are too many polygons and it's something that you don't need details, it's far in the background, you can even tell. But with nanite, you're able to keep the same level of details everywhere, because basically instead of polygons, it's calculating clusters. So you always have the same amount of data at the same time. So you can literally have billions of polygons and the game is still like nice and cool. And I've seen demos that were showing stuff that could run on PlayStation 5. So I'm not saying like, oh, only the big badass rigs can do that. No, it's really revolutionary. So while with video games, when you have to create, you have to do a beauty model, and then the different versions with the lower quality textures and a lower polygonal count. Now you can take an asset that usually worked for movies, because in movies we just render. There's nothing real time, at least back in the days. Now you can do real time with high quality, high poly count models. So those assets were again just for movies, because it would take minutes just to render one frame. Now you can use them as they are into your game. So I was like, oh my god. The second element after nanite, it's Lumen, which is global illumination in real time. So basically what global illumination is the calculation of the light, not just coming from one point to another, also bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. Right. So we see reality as it is now. For example, you see that shadows behind here. It's soft because there is so much light bouncing off the white wall and bouncing again, you know. So that's really, it's implemented in games, but in a way where basically you have to bake the light and you are not able to change light so drastically. So in the demo, they were showing, hey, look, this is a dark room, and now the ceiling is opening, and the light is coming in and bouncing and basically relight everything. I was like, unbelievable. Like, because I've seen this as a render that would take hours, and now it's real time, 60, 100 FPS. So I was like, okay, now I feel it's the time for me to start really learning Unreal Engine. Worst case, I'm gonna just use my knowledge for visual production. I'm a VFX supervisor, so if I add also this on my resume, it's like I can probably charge twice as much. So I was like, you know, crypto is doing well. I don't have to worry about taking gigs. Let me dive into. So I found this amazing tutorial from this guy. It's called Unreal Sensei. He posted like 5-hour tutorial for free on YouTube. You can go and download it, Unreal Engine 5. It's for free. started like, okay, this is great actually. So remembering how I started with visual effects, which I had this fan project, so okay, that was the right way, because I feel like I learned a lot by just applying whatever I learned in a tutorial back on another project. What kind of game is has a lot of landscape? Because again, painting landscape in Unreal is pretty easy. You can really like use the tools they have. There's like erosion tool, where basically it's create like a nice shape, like the real erosion with wind and rain would do. You can paint like trees and foliage. Where like you select which models and you say, okay, I want this density, and you just paint around. You create like a forest within seconds. I'm not gonna show you this. Maybe next time. But I was like, okay, this is impressive. And Nanite, which is the one that be able to, calculate billions of polygons, at the moment works best with solid mesh. So rocks, perfect. They don't move. They are there. They are static. A character, for example, it's like moving around, expanding its polygons. So Nanite is not working yet, but rocks, great. Plus, Unreal made so much money with the Fortnite. There's been like buying companies. They are creating assets from real world data. The best one is called the Quixel, and they basically have this library with like 20,000 materials and scans of real rocks or real objects. You can take, drag and drop in Unreal. They're good to go. The materials are like perfect because they use this technique of taking pictures with different light coming from different angles. So you're able to understand, okay, this is more shiny, this is more like bumpy. These are technical stuff. They're already baked in, or you are able to adjust whenever you want. So it's like, okay, there are a lot of rocks. They look amazing. I've seen demos like with these rocks. They look photorealistic. Which game from Sega, because I'm a Sega fanboy, would be best for a remake? So there was this team working on Azure Resurrection, which is a Panzer Dragoon Saga remake.
Yeah.
And I was following them. I was blown away with what they were doing. It's like, okay, I honestly want to join this project, but I feel like it's I need to do something myself first to prove I can do. So I was thinking about Saturn games. They kind of like aged in a way graphically. While Dreamcast games, you can still play them like on recast 4K, blurry textures, but still like Saturn games. Like I play them with the emulation. Charming gameplay is still there, but I feel like we can do a bit better now.
Yeah.
So yeah, SEGA Rally came to my mind. I was replaying it on PC. There was like the port, which basically is Saturn version with like a bit better graphics. And so what, SEGA Rally with mostly natural landscapes, a lot of rocks everywhere. It's 4 tracks, 3 cars, super clean. It's not like open world and then I can do this, and that. I have ideas to how to, implement the basic games, but as a beginner, and again, I had no prior knowledge about game development. I knew about CGI. I knew how to make it look good, because my job is mostly like take CGI or other elements and make it look photorealistic, because you have a live plate, something you shot with a real camera. So you need to be able to understand how physics works and how a camera is actually reading. And video games are trying to be the most photorealistic. They're both going to be realistic as they're looking, but in a camera, there are so many artifacts like noise, vignette, camera deformation, chromatic aberration, depth of field, stuff you have to know in order to make look something as a video game realistic. So I use basically my knowledge applied to whatever I learn in like a month or less, and say, okay, let me buy these Delta model on TurboSquid. Bought it. I found like the materials already designed for cars for free on the Unreal Marketplace. Okay, let me play around. It's looking good. I threw some rocks and I did first test. Like, you know what? I believe I can make look SEGA Rally photorealistic, or at least getting close to it. And that clicked. Say, you know what? Let me share my screenshots. They are mock-ups, you know. But at the same time, I know like Unreal has this Chaos engine, which is like a physics engine, and there is something specific for driving cars. Like, you know, most games now they have cars. Either if you have a open world or driving game, you need to play to move a car around. So yeah, basically what I did is like, okay, let me use this. And Chris asked me, hey, do you have a demo? I say, no, but maybe I can work on it. So basically I threw this demo like in a few days. And there are some interesting stuff I also did while I'm taking a really, how call it, not specific, but I try to be meticulous in my approach because I really want this to feel SEGA Rally. I'm using Overjump as a title to be legally safe in a way, because I feel like SEGA Rally is a badge of honor to get once SEGA approves you. And again, worst case scenario, I can just release the game as SEGA Rally, Overjump Rally. So it's not like I have to scratch it completely if I got a cease and desist. But again, knowing how SEGA is chill about indie projects, especially with Sonic Mania and Streets of Rage 4, I was like, okay, SEGA for sure, nothing Nintendo. So I'm not a Nintendo fan. Only got a GameCube to play Resident Evil 4. That was it. I'm playing Mario Kart here and there, but no, Nintendo is something. People ask me, are you gonna do this game for Switch? It's like, hell no. Like, because especially now that the Steam Deck has been announced, like, hey, if you want to just play while chilling, Steam Deck is the way to go. So I would love to have a settings designed for Steam Deck. I ordered one. I can't wait to get it.
That's awesome.
To play on my my beanbag. Actually
that'd be sweet.
I can show you. We mentioned.
Yeah, why don't we? Why don't you show us around, and then after that we could actually get into looking at some Overjump.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, that's
cool. Can make you the big screen.
So you were telling us before that you're really into kind of interior decorating and just.
Yeah, so basically I studied industrial design, and interior design was like a side course. We didn't take that specifically, but there were some elements. Plus, I studied high school as a land surveyor, and I worked in an architecture studio during summer. Design in general is something I like. Aesthetics, objects. I have a second camera I can move around.
Wow, you've got a really awesome pad. So
this is my retro. There is the Genesis Mini, like just under. And the style is retrofuturistic. So even that TV back there, it's actually an HDMI TV, but it looks like old. A few elements.
I was literally thinking just before you said it. It looks retro but futuristic at the same time. And then
that's the style.
Perfect.
Basically, I picked up a palette. Let me see if I can.
I'm trying to let's try to also explain what we're seeing to the audio listeners.
Cool. So what we're looking at right now is like a massive screen, and below it, it's like a projector screen.
Yeah, I don't want to brag, but I really want to decide.
And some
the projector, which is connected both to my PC, and I'm gonna buy a PlayStation 5 relatively soon. I have an Xbox One there, so I try to.
This is your time to flex.
Yes, and then here, this is something else we like, the custom-made Ninja and the Wakizashi, from my ninjutsu time. That's my sweet rig.
Home security, just in case, right?
Yeah. It's
Wow.
yeah. My rig is actually you can maybe barely see, but that's this kind of my own brain. It's not real time, but it kind of like lo-fi vibes with the red bonsai.
I love
As I
it.
mentioned, my studio, I want to name it Bonsai Rosso, which is red in Italian. It's also a nod to Sega Rosso, which was the AM3 name. And also, more retrofuturistic. You see, I have
I love it.
a phone here.
Oh, what?
This
cool.
is
That is like something from like an 80s movie.
Yeah, so I can call the president.
Like he's got this freaking phone.
Battlestar Galactica is what
yeah,
it's
like
for the audio listeners, it's like this dome sort of case that basically he lifts up, and there's like an old school telephone underneath it with big buttons. That's so cool.
The video sphere in a JVC during the space age era. So basically in the end of 60s, starting of 70s, with all the space race. Design was really inspired by all the NASA stuff. So they made this TV, which looked like a helmet. A helmet,
yeah.
Like an astronaut helmet. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. And you got like a bender up there.
There are like Cuphead. Cup. And some other like geeky stuff. And then we are back again here.
That's
very, very awesome. I appreciate that. When he showed us earlier, we're like, this is one of the coolest rooms we've seen. We have to show it to the.
Just like this is awesome.
I just finished because I started just before the pandemic, and then I just finished like a month ago. I haven't shown it to anyone except like I had two guests that told me, "Oh, this looks like a museum."
World exclusive.
Really, really happy. No, really proud of, and I feel like it's really inspiring you to, for artistic things or design, having a nice environment.
That's very important. That is very important.
Also the lava lamp. That lava lamp, it's from the creator of the original lava lamp, which is a British company. And they also made this version. It's like futuristic. And so when I said, this is perfect. So I got it on eBay from UK because they don't sell it here in the US. So I said I need that. Plus it's red. It's looking cool.
I love it.
Even the lamps. You see one on my back, a white lamp here. I found 3 of the same. On eBay. Just bought them. I want to put like a Philips Hue light so I can change the colors inside. And the entire department is rigged to Philips Hue, and they can sync with the monitor. So as I mentioned, I was playing Res with the lights changing both with the sound and the colors. And I was blown away. Imagine the entire room was like my screen. I was like,
you have to do that. You have to do that when they come out with Dead Space, because that is like one of the scariest atmospheric games. That would be amazing. That'd be very cool.
So if I'm not using the screen, either or, like I love the projector because it's big. But when I'm on this screen, I can have the lights because the projector needs like full black. So
awesome. Let's get into let's talk about some more overjump though.
Yes. Do you want to say something? I don't know how much people.
Or just before, Chris, did you want to quickly show off the Mega Barn, or do you want to skip that for now?
You know what? Let's skip it. Let's skip it. We'll wait. We'll show it at the end of the show.
We'll show it at the end.
We'll show it at the end of the show. I'm so excited to see some overjump. Let's get into that.
Okay. Let's rock on.
I think I'm already sharing my screen.
Is that the one you want to show, or is it a different one you wanted to show first? That's what you want to show. Okay, let's bring this bad boy up. So
So what are we seeing here?
Okay, so this is Unreal Engine 5, which is early access. So it's a bit buggy, but Unreal was like we want to Epic Games, they wanted to release it so people can start playing around. And this is the real time actually. Let me start first with the is the graphics of the game.
Oh wow!
It's a bit staggering because I think I'm also streaming.
Yeah,
Wow.
what we're seeing here is the Toyota Celica. He's just kind of panning around that one.
And a Lancia Delta now.
Lancia Lancia, which is
A Lancia.
right.
Sorry, in the UK we say Lancia because we're heathens. I'm sorry.
Everyone, even like Jeremy Clarkson gets it wrong. And speaking of which, you want to talk about the trivia?
Yeah. So
Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear.
Yeah. Do you want to explain it, or do you want me to?
Yeah, basically, I found out he's a huge SEGA Rally fan. So much so, he bought dual cabinet, and he has dual cabinet at home. Yeah, he wrote an article about like drinking and driving. He basically says, "I'm so good at this game. Most of my records are like so close to each other. But if I drink like half a glass of wine, I'm way off." So it's really a good example how to affects your brain, your driving ability. Even like he's a big guy, so imagine, and with half a glass, you're not a gamer anymore. You're like a noob.
Yeah,
no kidding. Yeah, I finally finished the Clarkson's Farm series, and
I haven't watched that yet. I watched some of the Run Tour.
I completely came around on Jeremy Clarkson. I love him. So I never got into Top Gear. I've never really watched it. I've seen a few episodes. I've liked what I've seen, but Clarkson's Farm was amazing. I got into it because I bought a farm recently. And I'm like, hey, let's see.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah, for the barn.
I loved how he's such an idiot, but. It seems like he always has this better way that he thinks to do something. It usually ends up in disaster, but he somehow pulls it through in the end, and it ends up looking okay.
Yeah,
I love
Nathan Fielder from Nathan For You. Is in my opinion the most hilarious show ever made. I don't know if you're familiar. It's the most underrated.
So which show is that?
It's called Nathan For You.
I know that one. Never heard of it.
No, nobody knows about hilarious. A few seasons, and he did like the dumb Starbucks thing. I don't know if it was a thing outside the US or anywhere else outside LA, where basically he made like this parody of Starbucks, because if you just put dumb in front, you're legally allowed to use whatever name you want because it's a parody. So then it became viral. People were lining up just to buy a coffee there, and eventually it got shut down because it wasn't like a real. It was more like an art show rather than. So he wasn't allowed to sell food, something like that. But yeah, he got like a bad idea, then it has a worse one on top, and then it keeps like piling up. So yeah.
I have a newfound
first what we are looking at. This map, as you see it, it's called Rural Australia, and it's actually a free map you can download from the Epic Store. But I didn't build this one. Just I want to be clear because I don't want people to think, oh yeah, or I take credits where I don't have credits.
Yeah, so you're saying that this was this map that you're using was already like a pre-built map? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Again, it's a design. They give it for free, for people for like in my case, I need like a backdrop. Sure. I had a car. So okay, I need like a photorealistic backdrop in order to do some photo shoot. Because again, let's start with something I'm really familiar with, which is making CGI looking realistic. And so I went. Another cool thing you can do. Move the light in real
lighting
time.
effects. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So as a photographer, being able to move the sun, that's something like you want to so bad. So instead of like moving afterwards, you just move the light. So it's like, okay, let me see. Now we have this. And then you can, change exposure. You can change field of view. And again, I can't stress enough, I'm still a noob in Real Engine. At least I have some background.
Is insane.
Yeah, no, I put in some extra work, especially textures. I redid all the texture. But for example, you can change the level of dirt, or how much shiny this material you want it. There is also inside the car. And now it's dark. But yeah, I can show you, for example, here, Lancia Delta viewport. Yeah, this is... sorry. Camera is a bit too fast. Yeah, this is the model of the car, basically. Okay. And here you can change materials. For example, here, let me open. This is how the material looks before you apply to 3D model, right?
So it looks like a tiny ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use you can change it like a cube if you want to.
Okay.
But usually the sphere is like the most common because you can see all the bumps, for example, I needed it was reflective, but not that much because the car paint is so particular, it's capturing some light, it's reflecting some. So yeah, I was able
that looks amazing
to find the right, and again, that's just one. Then, these are the tires, so multiple elements, tires can open, and then you can decide I need less dust. How much was it? It's putting up. You can change all these parameters. You basically you end up learning about these, but they're really intuitive. Another big advantage of Unreal Engine is this is the visual scripting. So instead just typing code, you can really see the nodes and connect them.
Okay.
So it's okay, this is opacity, A plus B, you put the alpha mask here, then actually, I want these connected to these, so then arrive to the node, the color metallic. I knew most of these by my CGI day in visual effects, but this was still interesting to learn how to all the elements are applied for a real time. So yeah, basically here the interior. They're not the best. I'm gonna probably hire somebody to do the modeling of the interior as well. But for some from the outside, they look good.
Yeah. No, the models. I think the models look really, really good. So that's very impressive.
So yeah, I was planning to do maybe some photo shoot. I don't know if maybe let's play a bit and then we can come back here. Because as I mentioned, this map, it's ready to go.
So we can actually play. So everything that you just showed us, it's actually playable right now, right?
So yeah, basically, since you mentioned a demo, say, okay, I don't have a demo yet, but let me see what I can do given the Unreal Engine tools, right? So I put the Delta on top. It's smaller, like a go-kart. But yeah, now I'm literally driving around on this map. I can switch, so it's like interior. Okay, the driving it's still bad. It's my fault mostly because I've been playing around until I was able to. But this kind of how the graphics are gonna look like, or maybe even better. I don't know if I'm able to.
It looks it looks great.
Yeah, so H2O in the chat just said, seeing this is just awesome, but he also asked the question, I'm curious on how much work or effort would have to go into acquiring the rights for putting brands in the game, so like the Toyota logo and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's another issue that I'm pushing away. But basically, I hope that if I get Sega on board, they have connections, or at least, they're able to help me. Worst case scenario, sorry, let me stop because I have the audio of the computer or the game running. Worst case scenario, I can just modify the Lancia and Celica models enough, like 20%, so I'm legally okay. Mm-hmm. Same with the logos. I might just recreate like similar.
Spell Toyota, but spell it with a D.
Toyota.
Yeah, Toyota.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways around it. So, I believe players are not like so strict. It's not like a Gran Turismo where real models of the cars were like most of the game.
Sure.
SEGA Rally is not meant to be a simulation, and I don't want it to make a simulation, right? I believe the fun of the game was mostly about the gameplay and the scenarios. So yeah, I'm copying one-to-one the scenarios. Like I can show you now, and we can jump on what I've done so far, because so far I've been showing mostly things I haven't done. So it's like, hey, why am I even on this show? And again, I want to be honest with the level of knowledge I have and the amount of work I've done. So yeah, I can.
No, but it sounds like, I mean, you obviously have a background in visual effects, and so it's not like it's Graham starting and deciding he's going to make a video game.
But still, I honestly believe that if you really want to, the tools are so intuitive to use, and you can buy a lot of templates, especially different games. I'm just mentioning racing because, but you can get like templates of RPGs with blueprints made from other users or something that Unreal is providing. And basically, you are playing around, just connecting nodes in a way like, okay, now I can kind of play, and you learn from there. Of course, it's not like, plug and play, but still, it's kind of like back in the days when After Effects became a thing for indie filmmakers. That you start seeing all the visual effects before was like, only on 100 million budget Hollywood films. Now, between the cameras, like you can get a red camera, or you can use a Blackmagic camera. They're kind of like fairly accessible, in terms of price and the way you can use them. I feel like now it's happening again with the game development. So it's not like. So here, what we have is the reconstruction of the. Let me speed the camera up.
So what we're seeing because I know the audio listeners, I'm trying to explain it and do it for those folks. But so we were looking previously at a pre-built map that you were also playing. You were driving in that map just a minute ago, but now you're showing us. This is a map that you're actually building. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's the copy of the forest track in SEGA Rally. Mm-hmm. I started initially planning to do the desert. It's the first map. It's kind of like more iconic. But then I realized, okay, there is the whole village to build, which, by the way, I even hired a local guy in Kenya, a photographer, to take pictures of details and textures to use. Because I found stuff online, but were like low res. Like, what? Let me hire this guy. He also has a drone, which we're going to use later for photo scanning of some environments.
Wow.
But the idea is like, okay, let me do like precise, meticulous, as I mentioned before, because I believe you can do the way you want, but there are ways to approach it that makes more sense. And again, I come from a background in creative work, which are based on movies, but it's not too different from video games. I have a lot of friends that like working in both fields, and they can tell me like, you start with the concept arts reference, and then you just go and build up. So I started initially using photogrammetry directly from the game itself. I posted stuff on Twitter. Basically, I was taking screenshots from the game, and I was using a software that able to calculate to recreate a 3D image of multiple pictures. It's mostly used for small elements or for environments. So I was using directly the Model 2 videos recording I've done of the game, like with 2 different cameras. And but it was really time consuming. Luckily, I got really lucky. There was a guy who did like the Simpsons Hit and Run remake. He also posted about it, right? And he was like, okay, so instead of like building the whole city, I'm gonna just rip it from the video game. It's like, wait, you can do that? You can really play a game and rip the models? So I was blown away. It's something I have no idea was even possible.
It's insane.
I started like looking up. I spent like 2 days of suffering because I was keep failing, and eventually I was able to rip the game from SEGA Rally from a Model 2 emulator. So it was in parts because the game is loading only what you can see, and the more you go forward, the more it's like discarding what was in the back, and you basically refreshing the memory. Sure, of course, makes sense. The game came out in the '94, so you only had like let's say this part of the track, and then you had this one, and then this one. So I was able to save all these parts, import into Blender, which is again a free software for 3D modeling, completely free, open source. And I was able to stitch it together, and it was especially useful because I had already the 2D map from the SEGA Rally guide book, but I didn't have the elevation. And for the mountain track, for the forest, even the desert, when all the overjumps, these games maybe you don't realize because it's going up slow and slow. But there is quite some difference of height. This is where you start. That's the tunnel.
Wow. Okay.
So I was able to have the most perfect, like close, because there were some issues here and there, representation. In fact, what you see here, these planes are the trees.
Okay.
And you can even see it's the crowd. At the time, they were just sprites. They were like 2D planes, right? They were like always facing the camera, so it's giving like an idea they are kind of somehow two-dimensional. So what you see here, actually, I can turn it on and off.
Okay.
Or I can hide this landscape so we only see. This is what I ripped from the game.
Okay.
Right. But I wanted to be precise as much as possible.
So it just blew my mind about the whole thing about being able to rip from old games.
Oh, yeah, me too. Like, I discovered like a week ago. I must say, like, and I'm sure people are going to use it for, illegal stuff. You can like rip animations, only like aesthetic. So if you want to like 3D print your favorite model from any game, really, except like there are some emulation that work, like a PlayStation 2, you get like a flat map. I have to try with the Dreamcast. I'll be happy to. Imagine like you can have a Sonic from Sonic Adventure 3D model where it's running. You can export it and then 3D print it. Like, how cool is that?
Wow, that's amazing.
So I need to get the Panzer Dragoon Saga models because I want my friend to 3D print those for me, and the fact that you can do this now, that sounds amazing.
I have to try with the Saturn games, but there are other games. For example, there is Andreas from the Burning Ranger tribute.
Yes.
He actually is doing something else. So basically, it's using data from the Saturn game to move into Unity, which is another game engine like Unreal. And he's able to get the data and turn it into a 3D world inside Unity so you can actually play on a PC.
Whoa. Okay.
That's why the Burning Ranger looks like a HD remake, because it is. It didn't like remodel everything. It's just using that data and it changing some stuff. He told me like sometimes had to like do some coding on the side for like the boss battle. Still had to get all the animation and controls. That's something that I can't even start to think about that, how complex that is. Of course, he's a programmer. Like, he knows about math and stuff. I don't. So it's like, okay, let me start from scratch. So this is the farther I would go to get data. I mean, if I'm able to get the gameplay importing back into the Unreal Engine, I might consider it, because honestly, the original gameplay is something everybody loves. Everybody's telling me. I'm gonna try to match it as much as possible, because that's perfect. That doesn't need any change.
Yeah,
but I think as for graphics, I think we can do better. Like we can do.
Yeah, because I think Sega Rally is one of those games that still holds up today. the graphics may not be as good, but the gameplay is
I
just so good, so spot on for the gameplay.
I don't play that many retro games, but Sega Rally I was playing. That's why, the idea came to mind and say, you know what, Sega Rally is amazing. Of course, the graphics dated, but, the game came out in 94 for arcade. And at the time, it was mind-bending. So that's why I say, you know what, now the best graphics you can get are either, you have big companies, so you can maybe make your own game engine, or you can get Unreal Engine 5, and that's something like unbelievable. So let me use Unreal Engine 5 because, again, I'm a noob at this. So what I did...
Oh, so I was going to ask you a quick question, which is actually in the chat. Happy Dudes asked about engines, so I thought that's a good time to ask. So he says he's actually looked up the pricing for the top-end license to use the Unreal Engine. Is there anything you could recommend for the hobbyist to create the same thing you've done for Unreal?
I don't know where he found it. So Unreal Engine is 100% free.
Oh, okay.
But if your game is selling more than $1 million worth of copies in different, then you start having to give like 10, 20% to Epic Games. Again, that's a problem, and I wish I had that problem where, you start making that kind of money.
Yeah.
But we can really open up the what's called the Epic Games launcher, and there is the this slot with the Unreal Engine. Download it for free, and you start making. No excuses. Same with Blender. Blender is 100% free, so it's not like, oh yeah, but then how can I gonna be able? Plus, from the Unreal Epic Games Marketplace, tons of stuff, tons of free stuff like the map I showed before, but also elements. Or maybe you pay $10 for some assets that will take a month to model properly. $20. I'm gonna buy some trees that are $200, but they're so worth it because they're both winter and summer, sequoia trees, so many variable, so pine trees, conifers. So I'm gonna buy that for sure because they're gonna save me so much time. And again, I don't do 3D modeling myself, so whatever I cannot do myself, I'm gonna buy it because again, it's relatively cheap, and I rather have the game, especially for a demo. Because speaking of Epic Games, people are like, "Oh, Fortnite, blah blah blah." Yeah, but Fortnite is making them so much money. They're giving away money for whoever has a really cool concept. It's called mega grants. Basically, you pitch your game idea to them, and if they like it, they're going to invest, no strings attached. Because eventually, if your game is really good, you're going to make money if you sell more than $1 million worth of sales, right? So for them, it's both it's good for branding. Hey, this game is made in a Unreal Engine.
Yep.
Two, again, they make maybe 100 games they invest on. One is a huge hit, and they're going to just recoup the investment for the rest. And again, the Fortnite is a cash cow anyway. So, why bother? People are going to buy for those silly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a quick question, Alessandro, because it seems like these fan-made games that end up turning into officially backed Sega titles have actually become a thing in recent years. We were talking earlier, we've seen Lizard Cube with the Monster Boy games and Dragon's Trap, and then obviously they went on to do the Streets of Rage.
Which I love.
It's been amazing, and it's weird that this is actually happening. This is a real thing.
I love Sega for being Sega, not for being Nintendo, where it's you're barely trying to, do a project for free. And let me call my lawyers. Now it's a term you got Nintendo when you try to do a fan project. And again, I understand it's their IP; they know whatever they like. I love how Sega is. It's not always the case, because I heard there was another Streets of Rage remake, but I believe that was too close to the original in terms of graphics, and it was next to their own release on Android for the Streets of Rage games. So there was kind of like a conflict of interest in a sense. So I can see why that happened. But as far as I know, if they really like what you're doing, they either say, "Oh, keep doing it." They may be even investing. I don't know. But for sure,
I was just going to say, I think it's just a strategy, a different approach between Sega and Nintendo, whereas Sega seems that to kind of welcome these fan games, not only the fan games, but just fan content as a whole, whether it's people posting, Sonic art on Facebook and things like that, but it goes beyond everything. And they've kind of just welcomed that. And I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, there was the Expo, the Sage.
Yeah.
They just have, So there is an entire community based on Sonic tributes, and Sega is so happy, which is something also George Lucas did back in the days with the Star Wars. Actually, he was a big fan of Star Wars fan movies. They used to have like festivals about them. Actually, lately, I think Disney was like pulling some cease and desist about some Star Wars fan project, but George Lucas stepped in and said, no, this is clearly a fan project. Don't even dare.
That's pretty cool.
You see, it's part of their policies. I'm not like shaming Nintendo because they want to keep their IPs, but honestly, I praise Sega, especially in my case, because hopefully, I get to use the SEGA Rally IP, which has been dormant for, I was like, the last legit one they released was 2007, Revo and SEGA Rally 3.
It was the SEGA Rally PS3, right?
Online. It came out in 2011, I think. So it's been like a decade where that IP, and everybody's still telling me, dude, it's like, love SEGA Rally. It's probably one of the best, if not the best racing game. And it's all about Sega. The title, it's in Sega. It's about speed, like Sonic. It's about like a racing games arcade. And so one of my idea to have this game release, because people ask me, what's your target in terms of platforms? And honestly, I will aim for better high-end computers, PCs, because I don't want to have something like that's obsolete by the time it's ready. So no PS4, Xbox One generation. I don't want to have some like cyberpunk effect, which I love the game on PC. I can understand why people are pissed,
Right, yeah.
And it wasn't, honestly, they should never have released it as it was on that generation consoles. So I don't want to end up in similar situation where, like, this game, I want to have 60 FPS and looking good, not something like in between. As an artist, I really want people to play my game in the best situation, the best they can get.
It's safe to say this won't be coming to the Switch, is what you're saying.
No, absolutely not. I mean, unless Sega's like, you have to. But also by the time this game is ready, maybe a year or so, maybe 2 years. I don't know. I don't have timelines because I don't know I don't know about game development. So don't ask. But yeah, I believe by the time it's ready, Steam Deck is going to be huge because I believe that so smart as an option in between PC gaming and console gaming. I love both. And I was about to buy a Switch because, like, I would like to play some games while chilling on the couch. And then, like a week after, they announced the Steam Deck. It's like, yes, this is amazing. So my target is PS5, Xbox One S and X, Steam Deck, PC, VR, especially if you play with a racing sim rig.
Wow.
Tesla infotainment, because if you watch the Model S played, I'm a huge Tesla fanboy. Like, it's not even funny. But if you watch that, they were like, hey, we have a console quality, like PS5 level of power inside your car.
Oh my God.
So whenever you're like charging your car, waiting for your kids to come off from school, you're on a road trip, you're like camping, so many occasions where like in your car, you don't know what to do instead like checking your social media. I imagine you can play a game just next to you. So arcade is perfect. Plus, you can already play some games inside a Tesla. And one is called Doom Buggy Experience, something like that, which you can play with the physical steering wheel of the Tesla.
I was literally about to ask that. Can you play games with the steering wheel?
So you can play with gas and brake. The car is not moving.
Yeah.
You can still move around. You can see actually your real tires moving while you're playing.
Can you imagine if you're out there in your front yard, and I'm thinking of Graham and sitting in Tesla in his front yard, driving in the car by himself, and the neighbor is like out mowing, and they just see Graham just having a great time, like in his car.
Yeah, because it's completely silent. So you can close yourself in a garage and just play with your. So it's gonna be the master race. It's gonna be a Tesla in the future.
Oh dear! Wow, that's crazy.
Imagine playing SEGA Rally with a real steering wheel from a real car.
I'd love that. Yeah, I'd be up for that.
I mean,
you get
plus
like
I would love.
You get like your wife or girlfriend and kids like rocking the car to make it feel like you're there. Like,
exactly. They look at you, and then you can do your same with your kids. You can rock your cars. They got the full life experience. So what we are seeing, let's go back at the moment because people are wondering why this ballet is like this. What I've done here, so for this map, the gray one, I had to sculpt it. So you can see actually, let me do some sculpting work.
Oh wow, live sculpting.
In real time. Yeah. So for example, I can pick here erosion. So
like that scene in Ghost.
I can redo so you can actually model, and if you notice, it's not like pressing down evenly. It looks like this is erosion from a real mountain, right?
Okay.
You can change, the brush size. And then you say, you know what, I want here.
God, this is like playing Populous.
Yeah, it's like playing with the. This one you see is the real boulder that's in SEGA Rally.
Okay.
If you remember during the airplane situation.
Vaguely. Yeah.
So let me spoil you one idea. So if you look down, this is a real waterfall. Because actually, let me go back. So instead, spending my time sculpting, which I've done it, and it's fun. And I've done it because I needed to have exactly, the ups and downs from the track. So I did that in a day, not even a few hours. It's fun. Let me share here. I can play around. Mm-hmm. You get the point. But at the same time, if I need to do a whole panorama, that's gonna take quite some time, right? Especially to make it realistic. Because if you check these mountains, are okay, but nothing crazy. So what I did is I found a website that basically gives you the height data of real maps. So I found Yosemite National Park because, again, doing my research, I find out the forest track was clearly inspired by the real-life Yosemite. Actually, trivia time, SEGA Rally initially was named Pacific Highway Rally or Pacific Highway Racing.
Really?
Because Tetsuya Mitsuguchi, the executive producer, he was taking a road trip here, to come up with some ideas after Daytona. He didn't work on Daytona, but, Sega had a huge success with Daytona, so they asked him, hey, can you do your first 3D game as a racing game? We are getting kind of known for that, doing Outrun, Daytona, Man XTT. Actually, no, Man XTT came after. Anyway, so Sega and racing was clearly a thing. So he was here I'm on LA, by the way. So he was on the West Coast going around. So I go it would be cool. Then people were like, oh, can you do something about European racing? Because Daytona was USA, as the title was implying. So I said, okay, you know what? What's cool? Rally. Let me search about rally as well. So eventually he used the Yosemite. And by the way, if you go to in the data of the PC version of the game, there's clearly like Yosemite file. So it was the real name of the map or the forest map. Plus, I did a mock-up video. If you go to my YouTube channel, where I put like next to the original game and the I drive through the park. I cut it up, and it was the same locations. You can clearly tell that it was the inspiration. So going back to the ballet, initially I was thinking, okay, I could do like a matte painting, which is a 2D picture with multiple photos connected to each other. But instead of doing that, I'm gonna need something that if you want to change the light, hey, it's the light changing, right? So I need something dynamic, and the 3D environment would be ideal. So I went to these websites called the Tangram Heat Maps. I took let me see. I can show you some stuff. Because I'm talking, but I can share. Let me go on the website first. Oh, are you seeing my screen still?
Not your screen that you're.
Okay. Okay.
No. So yeah.
I mean, I don't care, but just a bit.
So while you're doing that, just got a couple of other questions from the chat.
Yeah.
One of them's a Happy Dude again. So saying this could be a stupid thought, but what if there was an unlockable thing in the game for like a bicycle instead of a car? A bit like in Daytona USA, how you get a horse instead of a car.
Yeah, so I'm coming up with a lot of ideas. I'm in touch with this guy. I don't know his real name. It's really private. I has this YouTube channel called the SEGA Rally Championship. And he's like the best SEGA Rally player I've ever seen. Like the most impressive.
Better than Jeremy Clarkson. Are you sure?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it is Jeremy Clarkson.
I don't care, but I really like chatting back and forth through emails. I found his contact on his YouTube channel, and we're going like for weeks now, coming up with amazing ideas. I don't know how much I can talk now because I want to release them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we have some cool ones. Bicycle, yeah, I didn't think about, but we were thinking about like walking around the maps. So what you see now is a height map of the entire world.
Oh wow!
Right. So yeah, basically based on let me find. The brighter it is, the higher is in the in altitude, and of course, the sea level is black. So you can come here.
It looks like we're seeing an X-ray of Graham's head.
Yeah, pretty much.
My doctor. How the rivers, they look like veins.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's mostly, physics is applied either like a huge scale or.
Wow.
So basically, I found exactly where the Yosemite map was, right? And then I went also to the Google Maps, and I took screenshots of the valley. Let me see. I think. Here. There we go. So you remember this part and this part. So basically, I place my map here. Okay. The map is going to lay on top here. And there is a falls called Yosemite Falls. And just randomly, because again, I need like a nice view from the game. So let me switch back to. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So combining these two elements, one gave me, because you can import in Unreal the data, so it's able to understand. Okay, white is high, dark is low. So I imported, and with the right scale, it's like almost 5 kilometers square. So it's huge, as you can tell. I'm moving fast, but yeah, these are buildings. I was able to import it, and then instead of like using materials, and texture everything by hand, let me take the real data and use it as a texture. In fact, if I open this, this is the map. You see, to remember this part here.
Yeah.
And here's
cool.
where the map is. And then if we go back, you fly high. And that's the part I was talking about. And that's where the map is. And accidentally, hey, there is a waterfall just in front of the hairpin, right? So what I'm gonna do with my game, I'm gonna have a waterfall just in front. I'm gonna raise it up a bit, you know. So you arrive from here, you see the water. Maybe you hear the sound first. You arrive here, you do your hairpin, and then boom, you see the entire valley.
Yeah.
Basically, the remaining part. Actually, let me play because again, hey.
Yes, you've got a playable version, haven't you? Cool.
So now we're actually playing this map. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, trying to. Oh yeah.
So for the audio listeners, the actual track itself doesn't have any textures on it. It's kind of like a grey grid.
Yeah, I actually need to apply some textures before the live chat. It was giving me some issues. As you know what do you see there? Those are actually again, because I ripped the models. Every time I ripped the model, there was the model of the car, right? The original car. So you're gonna see like these ghosts lying around. Yeah, here's another one. You see, that's the Delta.
Oh yeah.
And
I want to get to this hairpin turn. I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm going slow because the driving is not like. But here you can recognize this point. Like this before the.
It's still driving better than Graham does in real life.
I'm going slow. now
the tunnel's actually got lighting effects, so that's really cool.
I throw some lights here, just otherwise it was pitch black.
Yeah. That's coming out of the tunnel. This is good.
Yeah, and then this is actually the off-road part.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I vaguely remember the track.
Then it's the medium right.
Yeah, Chris, why are you doing the side to the driver, the co-driver?
Yeah.
long medium right.
Speaking of which, I'm in touch with Kenneth Ibrahim, who was the voice of both SEGA Rally. Okay, now I have to go slow because I can fall down.
Oh, okay.
And basically, imagine that border.
Wow.
And then, I don't know. Sometimes it's stopping, but if I'm going too slow, it's like.
So that's pretty
Try
impressive.
Not to fall. That's why I'm going really, really.
Getting to see like the view and stuff. That's really cool. Like as you come.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's off. He's off the rack.
That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah. Get the people they want.
Technically, I could drive the entire valley if I want to.
Oh, you should put that in the game. just drive around.
Yeah, I know, but I want to. You can tell like it's spiky.
I see.
Because I apply some noise. It's like video noise.
Right.
So the map that has spikes. Right.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know. Yeah, basically.
Can you pick the car back up and put it back?
Yeah, I can restart from here. I can cheat this. Let me see. Start current camera location. And
so, overall, like how much? I guess it could put a percentage to this. Like, how far along are you? Would you say?
Okay. I prefer to start with goals in mind.
Okay.
So I'm going with the. Forest first, as I mentioned. I need to fix this camera because it's it's tough because I'm still learning.
Sure.
So I know how to make the environment look as we are now, and that won't take too long. So first I want to do a demo to send to Epic Games in order to get some fundings. If that happens, I will speed up the entire process because I can I'm already working on this full time. I'm also learning. So I might even end up hiring some help, especially for the driving mechanics, right? I might even hire people that know how to transfer data. Yeah. So it's still buggy. Like sometimes it's stopping. So I would love to focus on just the map design because that's something I really like to do. But I also like to learn, and the more I learn in every field, because I might turn this into a full-fledged game company. I have a background in startups, so I know my way around that too. So yeah, maybe focusing on SEGA remakes. Just an idea.
That's funny because there's actually a question in the chat, something similar about that. So they were saying, depending on the success of Overjump, are there any plans for other possible IPs?
So yeah, as I mentioned before, I was really inspired by the Panzer Dragoon SEGA remake called As the Resurrection. I've been their first patron on Patreon, because I'm such a huge fan of Panzer Dragoon saga, Panzer Dragoon trilogy in general. That's why it's unbelievable. To these days, I love it, right? So I would love to help them as well. Like, even just say, hey, this is my contact at SEGA. Please take care of that. Or being involved with them, love to. Because again, the world of Panzer Dragoon, in my opinion, is much bigger than Star Wars. If you think about it. Honestly, watching The Mandalorian, I got the Panzer Dragoon vibes. If you take the Laggy from the first game for SWI, right? It's like the orphan you need to take care of and hide from bad guys.
Yeah.
That's the Baby Yoda right there.
Yeah, true.
So you can actually write a TV show based on Panzer Dragoon, maybe using virtual production. So it would be cool maybe to use the assets both for a live action and for a game itself, right? So yeah, that could be an idea. I have ideas also for fully original games as well.
Yeah,
inspired by SEGA games or in that field. So if like SEGA is really against, I can do my own thing. I have one in particular I've been thinking about. It's a mix of Power Stone 2 and Ninja Gaiden.
Oh wow! Okay, that's very.
So yeah, imagine like brutally but also fun and like a party game. It's like adult answer to Smash Bros.
Right. That'd be cool.
But in a fun way. It's not like taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
So I would think like ninjas fighting each other, and you can make it both for a party game but also online. So it's like scalable. So yeah, I keep. I don't know if guys they want more see about more playing, more about. If there are more questions.
No, that's great. Like I think
embarrassing. This map is so empty at this point.
I just think it's cool to see your kind of process for how you create this. I think it's just it seems very efficient, an efficient way to do this, and it's the degree of like fidelity and what you get with it is really crazy.
I think most people, especially most creative, they don't want to show until it's really good, looking good. I'm kind of shameless in that field because I want to inspire other people. So I'm showing the whole process.
Yeah.
If you follow me on Twitter, on Facebook, I post every few days, even just screenshots of, I was showing the photogrammetry, which is something I've been ditching to go and use the ripping process, which is for my project as well. I mean, for others, I can use it also down the line. But basically, I'm trying to show that like it's a matter of trial and error. Like I don't know what I'm doing, clearly, but I can get to some decent. And if maybe somebody's like chipping and say, "Hey, you should do this instead," like, oh, that's a good idea. Even the concept of using the forest stage instead of because I was like going full steam ahead with the desert because it's the first. But then I realized, the desert is kind of easy. It's all off road. You can always like keep the accelerator going for the entire track. No need to brake whatsoever. No need to slow down. While I need to show the difference between racing on asphalt and racing on dirt, which was the what SEGA Rally was bringing on the table at the time. Like Daytona was all asphalt, while SEGA Rally like, hey, you actually have different drifting or have different like driving feeling if on different surfaces. So plus there is like hairpins, more complex. So even for me to understand if the driving is good, I need something more challenging. So yeah, I've also the first demo people played of SEGA Rally was the Forest. It was like the bootleg sampler, it was called.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So like, hey, let me keep the tradition going.
I love it.
Recreate the steps. And I think it's also a bit easier for me because there are no buildings. I might add like one or two here and there. While the actually, let me show you something else that's really cool. Not many people know. So if another cool, another challenge was like to recreate the how it's called, the village we have at the beginning of the desert, right? That's why I hired the guy in Kenya, to take pictures. But at the same time, they're like 20 buildings or even more. Yeah, I think I even counted them like at one point because I was like planning everything, and I want to do those in details. It's not like it's in background. No, because I want to add a photo mode to my game. So we get to a point where we want to freeze the game at any point. You can move the camera around, take pictures. So I want everything to look really detailed.
Very cool.
And a village, in order to make it, because if the graphics looks realistic, also every detail has to look realistic, right? I can have like low poly models if the car is high poly or the rocks are high poly. So I needed to have everything.
Yeah.
So that was for sure requiring me more time.
Sure.
So another thing I thought, Forest only had mostly it's 99% landscape, which is something I can easily do in Unreal itself. So, for example, if I go to Quixel Megascans, let me switch once again the window and go to. Okay, now you should be able to see this. This is from Quixel, which is a company that has been bought by Epic Games. And what they do is to create these materials and elements. They are completely photorealistic. I mentioned them before, right?
Yeah.
And these are 100% free if you're using them on Unreal Engine.
Wow.
So 15,700 assets you can use for your game for free. So if I go, for example, I'm not signed in.
Just
if I
hide that for a second.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me sign up with the.
What you're saying before about it being you're trying to inspire people by showing people early stuff. I think that's true because what you've showed me. Here's the thing. I don't think I'd ever be able to make a game, but what you're showing me makes me want to because I'm like, you're making it sound more accessible than it used to be back in the day.
Yeah,
which is
that's
fantastic.
why I'm trying to. I don't care. I mean, my mail, you can find it everywhere. Shouldn't show any password. Okay, yeah.
Right, here we go.
So yeah, basically you sign up using your Epic Games. So if you ever bought a game on the Epic Store, you will have it. Let me see my favorite collection. And you can see these rocks, like amazing. Wow. Surfaces, details.
There's all sorts
These are all elements. And you can literally drag and drop into the game. So basically you play with Legos. And you build whatever you want. And again,
That's
it's not
pretty
just for racing. You can have your open world. So these are all the favorite I can use somehow in my project, like, just to set dressing.
Sure.
This is like I'm gonna use this for the background. Like, imagine placing these elements, and you can use this quality again because of Nanite, which is the Unreal Engine 5 new feature that allows you to use these assets as they are without having to do like different level of quality based on the specs that you're. So yeah, been collecting like wish list all these elements, and I can't wait now to drag and drop them.
You have basically favorited almost everything on here by the looks of it.
Yeah, basically, like 139.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
They have so many cool stuff. Like, look at collections, for example. Some other cyberpunk elements, like, yeah. Or if you see anything, you and again, these are anyone can go here. They show us amazing tutorials. They, for example, did Halo blood clutch map using their own. Yeah, there is a tutorial like 1 hour long. They gave me so much inspiration for mine. Actually, I was doing Photogrammetry because they did the same. No, they did for the Counter-Strike map. They did again with all the elements. And when you realize how easy it is, dude, you're gonna start winning, and maybe you're gonna start your own game. And again, I suggest to start with something easy, arcade game. It could be just one level, just for fun. You can have a third person moving around. And again, it's not gonna be a huge hit or whatever, but at least you're learning. This is all done with free assets.
That's pretty cool.
And again, you can learn them for free. You can get assets for free, and you have the Unreal tool for free.
Wow.
What are you waiting for?
I appreciate you coming on and showing us all this, though, Alessandro. This is really cool stuff.
For me, again, I haven't done much yet, to be honest. In my game, I started like 2 months ago. So
so you're still early on. It's very cool, though, just to kind of that you're willing to show us what you've done and just take us behind the scenes on this. This has been a really interesting conversation because we haven't seen this type of behind the scenes in a an indie game before. It's pretty neat.
Most people are like really ashamed or they're shy about showing the process because, especially if they don't know what they're doing. Oh my god, I made a mistake. I honestly, to a point where if you want to see what I've been doing with visual effects, I have show reels to show you 15 years of awesome stuff. So like my ego has been like inflated by those. So even if like I show like how not shitty, but rough this is, I don't care.
Sure.
And again, I really hope someone else like, what? I have some backgrounds in these. I always wanted to make games because they're my passion. Let me try. And maybe you're just maybe you're gonna help me with either this project or something else coming down the line, some other project, whatever. Maybe just for fun, because honestly, this is fun. Like now, I need to do some work. So, for example, here I'm missing some because I deleted, but now I did it back. So let me re-add these. Now they're kind of like floating. Hey, there are ways to.
By the way, you're not sharing your screen if you're trying to show us something.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You're showing the website still.
So let me go back to share screen. It's getting confusing because window. There we go. So, for example, here I was missing elements. Let me do again. Do it again. Let me delete these. And then, so basically, you can extend your landscape. It's called. You just design it.
And that's very cool. I can actually see the shadows.
It's
below it actually changing as you're adding more land to it.
So basically, it's there. Now we're going to flatten first. So let me start. Oh, it's so satisfying. And then I want to basically wrap this over the other map I created. So I'm gonna go with the erosion first. Okay. Oh, it's not like when you use a heat gun to wrap stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Do the same. Okay. Here you push it.
So for the audio listeners, basically what Alessandro just did, he created like some flat surface, then sort of leveled it out a bit, and now he's using an environmental mapping technique to erode it away more naturally. So yeah, that's really cool.
And you can smooth it out if you don't like it. Can put some noise. Let me reload again.
Here's a question for you. Like if you're able to recreate the 4 tracks from SEGA Rally, but you've got these massive environments you created. You said this is like 5 kilometers wide, this environment you created.
Yeah, I actually measured it because I want it to be exactly.
Would you consider having 2 tracks on this course, perhaps? Like maybe have an extra road that goes off that maybe you could play the original SEGA Rally track.
Yeah.
And then maybe a second version would go a bit longer way. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, basically, I really think SEGA Rally is an amazing start in terms of variety of environments. And I would like to do what they did with the SEGA Rally 2. Basically, they use the same environment, like desert, by having 3 different tracks with different difficulties. Because, for example, I love desert, but it's so easy. I would love to have something that takes place into the desert environment, but it's a bit more challenging, right? So I would love to do that because I can reuse a lot of both pre-production, research. I downloaded so many pictures of Kenya, or now the Yosemite. You need like reference pictures, so I don't have to start from scratch. I can reuse those assets.
Yeah.
And again, I can draw another track, which honestly, let's see, I can just do it. Manage spline. I need to create. I think I can add here. I'm missing. Yeah. Anyway, you can easily create another shape.
That's really cool.
The idea I could do maybe remake the SEGA Rally 2 tracks using these quality.
You could also make the ultimate SEGA Rally game here. If you
that could be the long-term vision, or simply, hey, I have this track. SEGA Rally are great, but they are all at noon except the lakeside. What if I play the same track at night? Or what if I play the same track with the snow or with the rain? So you have exactly the same shape. I honestly, I'm already designing the map to be like easy to switch. For example, I'm buying those assets like the trees, which they come both with the snow on top or without.
Yeah.
So I can easily switch them later. I don't have to redo the entire track. So yeah, there are many ways to just keep the same shape and gameplay and just build on top of that.
Yeah.
So I can see, for example, desert, I would love a sunset. And then most of the track you play with your headlights, right? Because again, repeat, we have Lumen, which is the real-time global illumination. Yeah. So you can relight your map using the headlights of your car in a realistic way. So pitch black, maybe a sandstorm in Kenya. Here in the forest, we can have a rain, thunderstorm, a blizzard, or like just snowy. Yeah, same with the mountain, and lakeside also covered in snow, or sunset, sunrise. So we can have maybe like 3 different versions for the same track. So we already have 12 tracks without minimum effort.
Yeah, and you could do reverse as well, like going the way around.
Exactly. So I was inspired by this mod. It's called the SEGA Rally Pro Racing. This guy from Australia, he basically modded like the original board of the game a few years ago. I don't know how he did it. Genius. But basically, you can play like with a red silica, which technically is a Supra. Toyota Supra, which is one of the car you challenge in the championship mode. It's the red one. You just pass.
Yeah.
I think it's in the desert, right? And basically, you play the game, the tracks on the other way around.
Okay.
Which is better than the mirror mode, which in my opinion is kind of lame. You can use like mirror mode on the Saturn version, but having the tracks coming on a different way, you get the corner with different entry points and different speeds.
Yeah.
So it's technically a different track. Like here, instead of going downhill, you go uphill, so you're gonna be slower. And the hairpin is gonna be different because you come from. Again, you're going to be slower in this part, but then you're going to be faster in other parts, right? The tunnel, you get the tunnel, then you go down here pretty fast because, again, you're downhill. So these maybe they are easier in their normal way, but they are more difficult coming the other way. Actually, let me try.
So you talk about like the speed and stuff there in your game engine right now. If you are going uphill, you go slower than if you go downhill. Is that something you need to program in or something?
Oh no, that's part of the physics.
Oh wow! Okay, so that's already sort of
because and again, it worked on the SEGA Rally. You can try. You can like ignore like the turnaround sign. And now, I'm playing backwards.
Nice.
And actually, I'm already catching some speed. So when I crash. And I don't even know the track at this point, right?
Now make it go upside down, and that will be a super big mind trip.
Yeah, I mean, you can also mirror it if you want, so it's completely different.
No, this has been awesome. This has been really great. As our time's winding down, though, Alessandro, where can people go to find out more about Photogrammetry?
So I'm on every social media. No, actually, I'm just on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as @Overjump Rally.
Okay.
I also have a YouTube channel which I just started and got like 10 subscribers. So if you want to give some love, I just put like longer videos there.
No, I think it's a neat way to kind of just spread awareness about the game and just show people what you're doing. This has been really great.
Again, I'm trying to be really active because I want to inspire more than anything, or entertain as well. And if people come up with ideas, please, like, again, I've been chatting back and forth, extremely long emails. Like, takes me like a few hours just to reply to this guy. But they're so useful. We come up with some other modes I don't want to spoil, but dude, you're gonna love them because again, we are not building anything super fancy. I have some ideas for extra tracks, but 90% I want to keep the one Sega made back in the days because they're amazing to these days. So I don't even try to come up with my own track. I didn't, so there is so much to do with the elements we have now. I don't even bother to. But so first of all, I want to recreate the arcade version, then the Saturn version, and then of course add like online versus mode, photo mode, anything you would expect from a game that just came out, right? And then build on top of that. If Sega is so kind to see DLC rolling in different topics, I would start with a cheaper in a way because again it's an arcade with just a few. If you want more tracks and more environment, hey, Forza Horizon 5 is coming out, Gran Turismo, VRC, Dirt. There are so many other games, but this is Sega Rally. So I'm not trying to make a rally game. I try to remake Sega Rally. That's awesome. For me, it has to be clean because, again, if it wasn't for Sega, I wouldn't even start a racing game, to be honest. Because I like them, but I'm not like the biggest. I'm learning stuff I have no idea, especially about cars. I'm not that big of a fan, except for Tesla. I'm watching Initial D. That's my source of inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah, drifting, huh? So I want to get some ideas from everywhere. I rewatched the entire Fast and Furious or like saga, just to get some stuff right here and there. So yeah.
Hopefully you don't get your physics from that, because I think that might be a little off with some.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's try to use these SEGA
Not the
Rally.
most realistic. No.
Yeah.
No, this has been great though, Alessandro. I think we'll definitely have to get you to come back on. Maybe a few months from now, like once this project has gotten further along, it'll be great to see.
I would love you guys playing my demo when it's ready.
Yeah,
for sure, and then you game when it's ready. So,
down.
Yeah.
You're showing like earlier videos and
so showing off.
This has been awesome. So
my pleasure. How long? Sorry, I hope we didn't.
No, it's okay. No, because what we said before, we were saying, hey, let's just see where we go, and if we run long, we'll just take the time out of the newsstand, which we're going to do today. So I don't think we're going to have a newsstand this week, which is fine. We actually didn't have a lot of crazy news to talk about anyway. No. This has been more fun. So this has been great.
And again, huge fans as physical copies. So many people say, "Oh yeah, I've been following you," but I have proof.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love what you guys doing. Keep doing it. It's been a pleasure, honestly. I've been following via both the streaming and the magazine itself. Really happy to be here and to come back in the near future to show hopefully more an advanced status of my game, because again it's so early. I hope people are not saying, "Oh, this looks like crap," whatever. I'm not following. I started with the pretty pictures on my Instagram feed because you know what. Let me
That'll
see
get people's attention.
Sure. Exactly. Otherwise, it's just untextured stuff. We get there. I'm positive.
Yep. Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hopefully, everybody.
Yeah, well, we're very excited, and what you've done. You said you've been only doing it for like 2 months. I think what you've done is incredible. Even though you're sort of saying it's looking very rough, that's how games start. This is how they look when they begin.
Exactly.
This is incredible what you've done.
Don't see the dirty part, but honestly, again, if I can inspire somebody, because again, it is pretty easy at this point. Even just a year ago wasn't that, and it's gonna get easier and easier. So by the time you learn how to do it now, you get to a point where making games is gonna be like making a short movie, or even having a physical magazine. And again, I'm glad there are people that are doing everything at this point. So I can't wait to enjoy other projects or from other people. Keep enjoying physical release, and maybe you guys come up with something else. Maybe a game where you can see the news. Maybe the entire format is going to be, because there is another thing. Sorry, last thing. It's called meta-humans, where basically you have almost photorealistic humans. You can even type, and they have lip sync.
Wow,
they're unbelievable. Maybe for another next time. But you can even have. And these are free. You can import in Unreal Engine and basically have amazing characters for your games, which I'm going to use for mine, of course.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, Graham, do you want to send us home?
Let's close the show out. So thanks again for joining us.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to find someone to raid on Twitch, and there's no one playing SEGA Rally or SEGA Rally 2 or even Outrun by the looks of it. So.
Well, that's what they get. No one gets raided.
No one gets raided today. No one gets raided, but this has been great. So yes, thanks again for joining us. That's fascinating about how you even create a game these days. And I hope it's inspired some other people out there to sort of get involved in making their own SEGA fan projects. We definitely have you back on the show to show off your future work. So, in 2 months' time, before you finish the game by then. But judging, I'm not promising anything. Not promising anything. No. But when you're ready,
we'll see.
That'd be cool. So I'd love to, if we can get our hands on a little demo ourselves, that'd be amazing. But
I don't know what I don't know at this point. So could be a few months, could be a year, 2 years. But if I knew, I would probably not even start. So being naive, that's something you need. Seriously, like for any project. Keep it simple, but at the same time, challenge yourself and, have fun while you learn.
Yes, absolutely.
That's my wisdom here.
And if anyone watching or listening wants to find out more about Overjump Rally, you can find it on Twitter at Overjump Rally, or one word. Instagram, the same at Overjump Rally,
and Facebook as well.
And on Facebook, and on YouTube, it's at over space jump. By the looks of it, that's your username, isn't it?
Really? No, I don't think I can change my. But because I need 100 subscribers in order to change my my how it's called
URL.
Yeah,
right.
But so I just use the title, which is Overjump.
Yeah, you've got the link. You've got all the links on your Twitter accounts. I saw. So,
yeah. Overjumprally.com. You go link tree with all the.
Brilliant. Cool. So, with that, we'll wrap up the show. And thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to. Actually, they're too late, Chris, aren't they, on Patreon to subscribe to Next Issue, or are they?
Well, that's what we're saying at the top of the show, is that it is too late to get issue 1 through Patreon. But remember to go to our website at megavisions.net and go to the shop. Once we get all of the issues shipped out to our patrons, we'll open it up for the public. So if you missed out, don't worry. Here in a couple weeks or so, you'll be able to go there and purchase issue 1, and then also jump into Patreon at patreon.com/megavisions. Join that too. So then you don't have to worry about it. You'll just get issues when they're ready to come. So
fantastic. Yeah. And if you want to follow us, we're also on like all the social media stuff. Just look for Megavisions or Megavisions Magazine. You'll find us there. Also, jump in our Discord for any chat about Sega or any gaming and stuff. We talk about everything these days. Thanks again, Alessandro. We are
my pleasure.
Out of here. Have a great day, everyone, or have a great week, and be excellent to each other.
Honey, I gotta tell you about this sandwich.